I had a severe neck and back injury. I was in a store and I was walking down the aisle, just inadvertently slipped on some water that was in the floor, fell on a concrete floor on my left side with no cushion at all, just a straight fall. And my arm started swelling, and I didn't know exactly what to do other than to maybe go to the emergency room and get it checked out. I had pain in my arm. Didn't know I had a neck injury. I kept going to the doctor for my arm. My arm kept hurting, and he kept putting me on different medication, kept giving me shots. And so finally I went to see a specialist, and the specialist says, "Oh my God, I'm glad you came when you did." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Because your vertebrae are actually touching your nerves." They had to fuse 4 of my disc in my upper neck. I still can't sleep on my left side now. I can only stay on it for maybe 30 minutes, and then I have to switch over and go to the other side. So it's definitely there. It's something that keeps you uncomfortable. I can't lay on a pillow upward. I have to lay flat on one pillow. Otherwise my neck gets really stiff and I can't turn my head. And then I lose feeling in my left shoulder and arm. And then I don't do any sports anymore. I used to play a lot of sports, and I'm kind of afraid to do it. I've got 20 screws on a plate in my neck, so I just don't really want to mess up anything in there, so it could paralyze me for the rest of my life. When the fall first happened, I think because of the way the company handled me as an injured person and at their place of business, I was a little insulted by them actually at first, because I had no idea that I was injured this seriously. I hadn't made any claims against the company. So, and they called me 2 weeks after I had fallen to tell me that I had no rights to a claim. You know, I felt like I deserved to be treated like a human being, you know, after I found out exactly what the problem was. Going untreated that long was a long time. We were kind of on the edge about doing something about it, but then when we found out how serious it was very important that we got something done. Our doctor bills were, you know, I think maybe about $700,000. I was very pleased with the outcome. Everything that they did was systematically done. I think because they explained everything to me as we went along. Any questions that I asked, they answered them. Any reservations that I had, they took care of those. I didn't feel like a number, you know. I still had my identity when I went in there, and I left with it too. Everybody there knew who I was and why I was there. And that's one of the reasons why I would recommend Burnett Williams to anyone that had an accident or something that happened to them that needed their help. They reached out and they did exactly what they said they were going to do. Jim, I sent him referrals because of what he's done for me. He just treated me like I was his client, and I was the only client that he had. I was never cut short. I was never had to wait about anything. I didn't feel like I was intimidated by anything, even up to the day of negotiation. When I walked in there and had these judge and, you know, all the big attorneys sitting around in this room, in this conference room, you know, here's little old me and my wife sitting there, got to negotiate with these guys. And Jim said, "Don't sweat it, man, we got this." And he was right.